Past neglect mixed with a desire to be with someone is a dangerous concoction that can cause you to lower your standards to the point where these people that you're dating, the cheaters, the users, the losers, they don't even treat you like a whole real person, but you cling to the relationship anyway. You can't even see that this is clearly a bad person for you, even though they don't display the actions of a good person. And yet you see these things as mere obstacles to overcome, and you're hoping that in the future, the relationship will all work out. And if you feel lonely today, I understand that urge to reach out to the person who's caused you so much emotional pain. But first, today, I ask you to listen to a question from our friend Daniel, whose girlfriend, according to him, is an absolute princess. Except for the part where she's hiding him from her boyfriend. I think by the end, you'll understand why sneaky people who cause you to lower your standards should never have been an option for you in the first place. It's time to protect yourself from avoidant cheaters, and we are going to talk about it right now. All right, Daniel's letter is fairly brief, but there is a lot going on behind the scenes here, so I'm going to go ahead and read Daniel's letter, and then we'll see if we can help him out today. Dear Maria, I'm a 29-year-old man who prides myself on my great financial independence. However, due to a great deal of bullying in school, I have a lot of insecurity about my looks and self-esteem. I'm not an awkward kid anymore, but the bullying has stayed with me when it comes to what I feel I deserve in relationships. Fast forward to a year ago when I met a woman at work who I will call Chantel. Chantel was 26, very sweet, and pretty laid back, which made her enjoyable to work with. We clicked right away, and I knew I wanted to be with her almost from the moment I saw her. One night, after a couple of months of working together, she invited me out after work, just she and I. I was excited, and as we were talking, though, she revealed that for the past 2 years, she had a boyfriend. She has a boyfriend. And that was the first red flag. When she told me about her boyfriend, I felt like the wind had been completely socked out of me. But we continued talking, and at the end of the night, Chantel leaned over and kissed me. And by that point, I was so into her that we secretly began hooking up shortly after. Over the next few months, I took her out and paid for dinners and movies. I would treat her like a princess, and for a while, it felt good. But she still had a boyfriend, and she wasn't doing anything about it. She said it was the first time she'd ever done something like this. Finally, guilt got the better of me. I told her I could not participate in this anymore, but to this day, she continues to bait me with texts, and it's getting hard not to give in to my princess. What do? I feel like a bad person because I let her do this. Well, yeah, Daniel, I'm sure if you're at the point where you're writing to me, this must be completely eating away at you, but let's go back to the beginning, and we're going to break this down. All right, you are 29, and you used to get bullied a lot, which has affected your self-esteem, and it also affects who you go for when it comes to what you feel that you deserve in relationships. Well, Daniel, there's this school of thought that says in life, we don't get what we deserve. We get what we negotiate for ourselves, and ultimately, we get what we accept. And actually, let's take a quick pause here for a second. I know we're only on the first sentence, but this is important because I want to give you an example of why this is true. Let's say maybe you're with someone who brutally discards you because of their own past trauma or illogical fears. Now, that's not fair. You were a good boyfriend or you were a good girlfriend. You didn't deserve that. But life isn't like karma. It doesn't care what you deserve. Its only job is to happen. Life happens. And when these crappy things happen, you negotiate what you want. You want a romantic relationship with the person you love. You don't lower your standards to fake friends or one-night stands with your ex. No, you utilize no contact to negotiate your position, which is I love you, and it's a real relationship or nothing. And then it's up to the other person to step up or get out of the way. Because if they begin to breadcrumb you and you accept these terms, ultimately, that's what you're going to get. And I do have a video about forcing avoidants to step up or step off, and I will go ahead and link it in the description down below. Okay. All right, let's move on. You say, fast forward, you met a beguiling woman at work that I will call Chantel. She was 26 and very pretty and sweet, and you were excited because one night after work, she wanted you guys to just go out together after work, just you and her. And that's when she revealed that she already had a boyfriend, and you say that's the first red flag. Well, I disagree with that. I don't think that someone having a boyfriend is a red flag. I see it as simply a fact. And if you ask me, which you are, I'd say there's actually 2 red flags here. And they coincide with each other. The first red flag, you've worked with her for a couple of months. Why is she suddenly revealing a boyfriend now? Why has this not come up in the past? And then the second red flag is, why is she out alone with a man having drinks? And I think it's because she's positioning you where she wants you. And she doesn't readily mention her boyfriend because she doesn't want that reality to dissuade you. I think some cheaters target people who they can tell are nice and have low self-esteem. So they create an atmosphere between you that fuels this fantasy that she's single and you guys are a real couple, because that role play feels like a nice escape whenever she meets up with you. Women hide men like those social media thirst traps. They don't post sensual pictures holding on to their husbands. No, they post selfies where they're alone. They want something, money or validation, and in order to do that, they must fuel the fantasy that they are totally unattached and available just for you. So let's go on. By the end of the night, Chantel leaned over and kissed you, and by that point, you were so into her that you secretly began hooking up. Well, you have hope is the dope syndrome. You met her, you hoped to be together, you found out she had a boyfriend, dreams are crushed. Oh, but wait, she's kissing you. Here comes all that hope again that you're going to be the guy who will end up on top, so to speak. What I mean is, you're going to be the guy who ends up winning her heart over this other gentleman. Now you and Chantel are entangled in this thing where you're taking her out to movies and dinners, you're treating her like a princess, and you're kind of upset because in the background she still has this boyfriend, but she's not leaving him for you. She's not doing anything about it. Right, like you hoped that she would. But I have a sneaking suspicion you've never actually talked about it. And you didn't say this, but I'll bet that Chantel even complains about her boyfriend to you. And if she hasn't yet, if you had continued with her, she wouldn't have dumped him. She would have continued to see you and then started complaining about things that her boyfriend did that bother her. And here's a tip for you, Daniel. You can treat her like a princess all you want, but princesses don't go home to their boyfriends and crawl into bed and sleep with them after a date with you. And Chantel told you this is the first time she's ever done something like this. It's not something like this. It's funny how people detach by not stating what it is. They use a little workaround, but it's not something. It's cheating. Well, she sure loves the way that cheating makes her feel, but she does not like how that word sounds. Maybe this is her first time, but I am positive this will not be the last. The guilt is eating you up. You can't do it anymore. She's still breadcrumb teasing you over text messages. It's getting hard not to give in. She is your princess and you feel like a bad person because you let her do this. Daniel, when I read those words that you let her do this, my gut reaction was letting Chantel. Chantel's an adult. You don't let an adult cheat. They cheat. But then I thought about it, and that night after work, when she disclosed to you that she indeed had a boyfriend and then leaned over to kiss you, yeah, that was Chantel asking your permission to become a partner in crime. But even so, I've got some harsh news for you about Chantel, and I am not trying to hurt your feelings because these people make us feel special, and I get that. She makes you feel seen. But she didn't. Okay, here's what did not happen. Chantel didn't have a boyfriend for a couple of years and then meet you at work and realize she was making a huge life mistake. You are the one. And then she goes through the hard task of breaking up with her boyfriend to start a life to be with you. Now, she's continued to sleep with her boyfriend this entire time, which tells me that this infidelity is something that's in her character. And if it wasn't you, it would be someone else. That was the kiss test. She was testing the waters with you. And speaking of character, Chantel can't even be faithful in a long-term relationship, a couple of years. Do you really think that Chantel's going to be faithful to a husband or a life partner or the father of her children? It's doubtful, because years into those relationships, when that new relationship smell has worn off and her chips are down, she's going to remember how good this felt. Cheating is her escape, and you've taught her that there are no consequences. You have not completely stopped answering her. You haven't blown up on her, like threatened to tell her boyfriend. And I mean, other than just walking away, I'm not saying you should do any of that stuff. I'm only saying that so far, she's gotten away with this with no consequence. You've made it so easy for her. You are enabling this sneaky behavior. And one of the biggest red flags is people who ask us to corroborate in their lies. Avoidant cheaters diminish your standards. Daniel, you are 29. You are at such a pivotal place in your life. If you ever want a chance of having a real, healthy, decent woman in your future, you have to completely commit to squashing any of this kind of behavior. You've already stated that you have insecurities about your looks, but Daniel, welcome to the other half, where we know attraction is not just about looks. We also need to take care of the inner half, because just wait until the dopamine wears off of this relationship or it fizzles out. Not only are you insecure about the outer half, when this whole situationship that you found yourself in, after this all plays out, now you're going to be feeling insecure about your own inner character. Now you can't stand anything about yourself. And that is a recipe for disaster. You're insecure about what you see on the outside. And now you're not even sure you're a good person on the inside. So you're going to go on to get involved with the only people you think you deserve, and they will not be good people. Because good, beautiful things aren't born from lying and cheating. Now, I'm sure that somewhere along the way, you were cheated out of the love and attention that you needed, which is why Chantel's attention feels so good. But that doesn't mean you deserve a woman who is slimy and slippery and secretive. And it might be too late to save Chantel from a miserable life, because it's my theory that people like this, they go on, they struggle with relationships for years. Put them up on the relationship struggle bus and wave goodbye. I have faith in your healing process, because you're writing to someone to try to fix this. You're acknowledging that this is wrong. Take this as a lesson and get out now. If you want a good, beautiful woman, become a man with integrity who can look in the mirror and say, I deserve one. And remember, life doesn't care what you deserve. But if you can confidently say that, you can negotiate it into reality, because you've done the actions to prove this is your truth. And now you won't settle for anything less, like an avoidant cheater. Now you'd rather be alone than let someone like this diminish your character. And I have a special nail polish that I picked out just for you today. It's called You Can't Beat Royalty. And it's so true. How will you ever overcome this situation if you keep imagining her as a princess? But right now, something inside of you is screaming for you to get out of this. And I know you're struggling because you do picture her as a princess. But the way you fight that image, Daniel, you have to flood it, like bombard it with reality. So the next time Chantel texts you, how have you been? Remember, she's not coming into your world as a princess on a throne. She's sitting on a toilet in the bathroom of a restaurant texting you while her boyfriend is at the bar ordering her drinks. Or how about this? When Chantel texts you, good morning, she's not sitting in her power. Again, she's sitting on a toilet while her boyfriend is in the shower getting ready to go to work. I promise you, Daniel, that's the secret life of a cheater. It's not glamorous, it's gross. But that's the reality. And here's another reality. She doesn't care that she's harming her boyfriend's future once he inevitably finds out and is never able to trust women ever again. And she also doesn't care that she's involved in harming your character, and she's harming herself too. This is self-destructive behavior. Chantel isn't a princess. She's not even a prize. And it's time to give Chantel the royal flush. Ignore her texts, block her if you have to, and keep these images close because, like I said, you can't beat royalty, but you can give her the cold, hard, lonely dose of a cheater's reality. And if you want to know more about avoidants who cause chaos and stick you with the bill, I'll put that video right here. My name is Maria Adriana. You did not have to live Daniel's life, but I certainly hope you can learn something from it. As always, thank you for visiting the other half.